Greetings! Welcome to Bloodhouse, the show where we talk about art house horror movies. I'm your host, Joshua Conkle.
And I'm your co-hostess and spectral feline, Drusilla Adeline. Welcome back to another episode. How are you doing this week, Josh?
Good. Yeah, everything's good here. I've been seeing some movies, revisiting some childhood favorites. First of all, I finally got to visit Vidiots in Pasadena, the new theater and video store. I went with my friend Dorothy and her two kids and saw a matinee of The Great Muppet Caper from 1981, which I haven't seen probably since 1982. It's one of those
an incredible
Muppet
movie.
Yeah, I hadn't revisited that one like I had the Muppet movie. And it was great. And I've never been in a theater full of children before. Ever, maybe. And it was the closest I think you can come to watching a movie with the Muppets. Like, they were so loud and so distracting, but also adorable and charming. And I was curious to see how they would react to the Muppets, because I presume that they don't really know who or what the Muppets are.
Yeah.
But they seem to love it, which is great.
I'm glad. So, when I was a child, my mother is a massive fan of the Muppets. She grew up in the 70s, and I just vividly remember, because she would always take us to the video store, into the library and stuff like that in the summer, and just get tapes and sit us in front of the TV so that we would shut up and she could have, a nap for 2 hours, essentially.
Uh-huh.
And she made a big deal out of, the Muppets are incredible, you are kids, I finally get to show you the Muppets, you're going to love this so much. And she rented the Muppet movie, The Muppets Take Manhattan, and The Great Muppet Caper.
Those are the best three, the first three.
She rented those three from the library on VHS, and she showed us all three in the same day.
Mm-hmm.
Just a morning marathon of Muppets.
Quite an education. Now, did you understand? Did you get the appeal?
They terrified me, Josh. When I tell you that Great Muppet Caper in particular...
Really?
The Muppets themselves scared me.
Yeah. They're very strange.
They're very strange. And a lot of them don't have eyes. They just have, big ol' eyebrows and no eyes. And they scared the living shit out of me. And when I was forced to watch 3 of these in a row, when I was scared by them... I then, for years, had nightmares about Muppets until, I was in college.
Wow.
And so I, refused to engage and watch any Muppet-related content until, 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one I watched again was The Great Muppet Caper. Because that one was the one that scared me the most. And I was like, listen, as a person in my mid-20s... who watches Dario Argento movies, if I can make it through this one, I'll be fine. And I watched it, and I loved it so much.
It's so funny.
It's also a kid's movie about how Charles Grodin wants to fuck Miss Piggy.
Let me tell you, what a great performance from Charles Grodin. You believe, it, without question, that he has instantly fallen in love with Miss Piggy.
Yeah.
He really sells it. It feels deeply felt and genuine. His, love at first sight moment with Miss Piggy. And then the musical number where he's singing in the voice of, Mario Lanza to Miss Piggy. It's fantastic. I remembered that there's a running gag with my favorite Muppet, Janice, who's our California girl in the Electric Mayhem. The one who's for sure. There's a running gag in their early movies where there'll be a scene where all the Muppets are arguing, they're all talking at once, and then Kermit quiets them, but Janice doesn't notice, and she's still talking, and she says something really funny. And this one, it's, so I said, "It's my life, Mom. Okay, if I want to walk on the beach naked, I'll do it." And in The Muppets Take Manhattan, it's something like, "I'll put out forever whoever has a jacuzzi." I just love her so much. She's so great. And again, she doesn't have any eyes. Her eyes are always closed.
Yeah.
She has beautiful long lashes and spaghetti hair.
Great Muppet Caper has one of my favorite running gags the whole movie, because the setup is that Kermit and Fozzie are a reporter duo.
Mm-hmm. Identical twins.
Which is that they are identical twins. Despite the fact that one is a bear and one is a frog, but the way that you can tell a bear and a frog apart is that bears wear hats.
Yeah.
So there's a scene that's like in a lot of the opening scenes and establishment and setup. There's a lot of jokes around that. And then even like later in the movie where they're in England and stuff like that, a little boy passes them on the sidewalk and says, "Look, Mommy, some frogs." And the mom says, "No, son, that one's a bear. It's wearing a hat." You also get Peter Falk.
Peter Falk. I mean, he got cheers when he showed up.
Incredible cameo.
Incredible.
One of the best scenes in any Muppet movie ever.
I remember how much my little gay boy heart attached to this movie because specifically of the idea that the villains are 3 fashion models who are also cat burglars. And that just like lit my little mind on fire as a 3-year-old gay boy.
You love a fashion movie. It's a fashion movie. I do love a
fashion movie. This is a fashion movie. There's like a catwalk. There's like a fashion show that is fantastic and turns into a synchronized swimming number starring. This movie, first of all, is very Piggy-centric, which I appreciate. Like, she is the focus of it.
Most of the posters are her driving the motorcycle at the end.
Which is great.
Which is incredible.
Motorcycle. Yeah.
When I watched it again with my mother a few years ago, when I revisited it, like, she was having fun with it, and she was like, I remember this one a little bit, and then as soon as the big finale came up, she was like, nope, this, watch this. This is the best part of the whole movie.
It's great. My favorite is still the Muppet movie 1979, because I think it's the sweetest, and it, like, literally makes me ugly cry, because it's so emotional for me. The finale of that movie makes me burst into tears.
That also has maybe the best cast ever assembled of humans and Muppets.
Yeah,
you've got Mel Brooks, you've got Madeline Kahn, Steve Martin, that fucking weird puppet, James Coburn and Orson Welles.
What's her name? Carol
Kane.
Carol Kane, thank you.
Carol Kane's in it. I revisited that for the first time after being traumatized as a child, right before I had surgery. So my mother and my partner and I went up to Oakland before I had surgery in San Francisco. And I asked my mother to bring her Muppet DVDs with her, so that we could have a little bonding moment, because I know that she loves those and my partner loves those. And I was in the middle of like trying to like soothe that issue as a child, and also like it's before major surgery, so I was like, maybe I die, I don't know, but if I do, I want to fix some things. And so we like one of the 3 movies we watched before I had surgery were Singing in the Rain, Anti-Mame, and the Muppet movie. And I cried at all 3.
Yeah. The first thing that really made me cry in 2020 during the pandemic, I was being very stoic for months and months and months. And then Jim Henson Studios released a video that was an At Shelter video from Kermit. Where
I remember.
It starts with him turning on the camera and then walking into frame, and he's just in the woods by himself. And then he sings Rainbow Connection, and then he goes back around the back of the camera to turn it off himself because he's alone. And it just like really did a number. I'm like tearing up now just thinking about it. Like, it just really killed me. I just love them so much. They mean so much to me. Do you know about Order Muppets versus Chaos Muppets?
No.
This was a piece that I don't remember what publication it was on, maybe 10 years ago, some internet, like BuzzFeed or one of those kinds of places. It was about how everyone is either an Order Muppet, like Kermit, or a Chaos Muppet, like Animal. And it like categorizes all the Muppets into one or the other. I think I'm definitely an Order Muppet. I suspect that you are too.
I feel like I might be a Chaos Muppet, though.
Really? That's what Joel thinks about himself. And I think that's true. And especially when he was a drinker, I'm sure that was true. I like Order, so I don't know. Which Muppet do you, like, tag yourself? Like, what Muppet do you think that you are? I
always joke that Rolf is my boyfriend.
Aww.
Because I love Rolf so much. He's a little piano-playing dog. My mom is always like, is he based on Paul Williams? And I'm like, I don't know, probably.
Oh,
he's a little sweetheart.
Right. Yeah.
He doesn't look like Paul Williams, if Paul Williams were a dog. But I like Animal a lot, and I do relate to Animal a lot, personality-wise, at some points in time. But then I will also relate to Janice, and I will also relate to Kermit.
God, I love Janice so much.
I love Janice.
Janice is who I wish I was.
Yeah. But I just feel like, I don't know. Maybe I used to be Animal, and maybe I'm not so much anymore, but...
I feel like I
it's
was
the ADHD.
Gonzo. I feel like I was Gonzo when I was little. That was who I loved the most and related the most because I was a little gay boy living in Appalachia, probably.
Yeah.
But now I feel the most like Piggy. But I also don't want to be like Piggy, but I think I am.
Oh,
She's not very nice.
One of my favorite jokes, which is barely even a joke, is whenever Ivory and I are talking about movies, and for some reason, we talk about like Dirty Rotten Scoundrels or like anything directed by Frank Oz. I'm like, oh yeah, that was directed by Miss Piggy. They let Miss Piggy direct that movie.
Wow.
She did a great job.
Let her get one, yeah.
They finally Michael Caine, directed by Miss Piggy, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Yeah. And then the other thing I watched with my movie club on Monday is we watched Back to the Beach, which I watched constantly in the 80s because it was always on cable in the late 80s, and I haven't seen since. And it was super fun. It's the comeback of Frankie and Annette, who... It was interesting to watch because I realized that in the 80s, watching that as a little kid, I had no idea who any of those people were. I mean, it's chock full of like people from the 60s, like
Frankie
Dick Dale,
Avalon.
yeah, Connie Stevens, like all of these major cameos from like boomers of the 60s. And I just had absolutely no idea who anyone was. But I loved it. And but we watched it because Pee Wee Herman has a great cameo in it where he just shows up, sings Surfin' Bird, and then flies away on a surfboard for no reason. And it's a delight, of course. And the whole movie has like a really fun, campy, mid-century kind of John Waters aesthetic. And then their son, for no reason, is like a really mean-spirited punk rocker with a switchblade. And so it's combining the best of like the 50s and the 80s, and Lori Loughlin, who we know from Prison and SAT Scandals, is in it. We do the movie club in Slack, and so I changed my Slack name to Lori Loughlin's Prison Sentence.
Oh my god.
Anyway, it's fun. It's a fun rewatch if you haven't seen it or haven't rewatched it. It's worth it.
I haven't seen it. I only know about Back to the Beach because of its cameos and stuff like that, and because of its fucking gorgeous poster.
Gorgeous poster, the best font. It's the Vidiots font.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they don't use that font in the actual movie, which
of
is
course
a bummer.
not. But the marketing is great. I
great.
really want to watch it. There's another Paul Rubens 80s comedy that's very underrated that after his very, 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 very sad recent passing, I've been like trying to get Ivory to watch with me. I've got it on VHS over here. It's called Pandemonium.
Oh, I don't know that.
Oh my god, Josh, you need to watch Pandemonium fucking ASAP. It is it is from the director of Alice, Sweet Alice.
Oh my god, okay. Alfred Soul, is that his name?
Alfred Soul.
Okay.
It's a slasher comedy.
Uh-huh.
It's a slasher spoof.
I'm with
you.
And
it stars Tom Smothers of the Smothers Brothers.
No. Okay.
Carol Kane.
Okay.
Tab Hunter. Paul Rubens.
Mm-hmm.
And Judge Reinhold.
Oh my god, what a wild cast.
It's bonkers. It was only available on VHS for years and years and years. A mutual friend of ours showed it at a horror party a few years ago, and I like loved it. It's super goofy and stupid. If you like something like Student Bodies or some of those like 80s movies that like spoof slashers.
I hate those movies, can I be honest? I really hate them. I can watch
like
10 minutes of Student Bodies. We had a gathering to watch that movie, and 10 minutes in, I was like, guys, I can't. I'm sorry. I hate to be this person. I'm feeling like really mean. I don't like Scary Movie. I'm sorry. I don't like them. I've never liked them. I don't like Naked Gun. I don't like Leslie Nielsen movies. I've never enjoyed them. I don't know why. I guess I'm dead inside.
I was raised on Zucker Brothers movies and Mel Brooks movies. And that's my sense of humor in like the worst way.
Yeah.
I think the second Naked Gun movie is very, very funny. I would say give Pandemonium a shot just for a fun Paul Rubens. But like if you find the entire genre grating, maybe it's not for you. But yeah, Alfred Soul didn't direct a lot of movies, so
yeah, I should be a completist. Right. Like, he made that porn movie, Alice, Sweet Alice.
Yeah.
And then this.
And then this. Well, at least, like, Vinegar Syndrome gave it a good Blu-ray release recently, so it's, like, back in circulation. It's available once again.
Happy for them.
Mean. Good for you, I guess.
That's why I'm Miss Piggy.
Yeah, you're right.
Shall we talk about the movie we're here to talk about?
Yes, let's do.
Okay. This is a Japanese movie from 1977. It is not the film from 1986 starring William Catt.
From 1977, directed by Nobuhiko Obayashi, House.
Yes. Love this movie. Thank you for saying that director's name. I said it wrong 100 times and then edited it out. This is a movie that we've both seen many times and we both love, and it's long overdue for the podcast. When did you first see this movie?
I had to have been in high school. So this is where the age gap between us comes in.
Yeah.
To play. Because
there was a re-release of it, I think, when most people saw it in 2009, according to the wiki.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was basically unavailable legally in America. It was never released theatrically in the 70s or anything like that. It was like talked about and was available on like bad rips from like torrent sites, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I didn't even hear about the like rep screening that Janus Films did in 2009. I just, in 2010, was like a teenager and was like getting into art house movies and stuff like that. And I remember going to a Barnes & Noble for the first time during Criterion sale in 2010 and walking around and being like, I don't know any of these movies. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
And like $20 for a movie. Oh my God. That's crazy. What am I gonna get? What's it gonna be? And the guy at Barnes & Noble came up from behind the counter and walked over to me and was like, have you heard of House? And I was like, the Hugh Laurie show? And he was like, no. And he like picked up the Blu-ray and showed it to me with that gorgeous orange cat art by Sam Smith, and it was like, he was like, this is the craziest, weirdest movie you've ever seen. You have to buy this movie. You have to see this movie. And I was like, oh, okay, mister. And I like read about it. That person was an angel. I put it back and I didn't buy it because I had no money. But then, like, a year or two later, when Criterion stuff started popping up on Hulu, it was, like, the first thing I watched. And it melted my brain. I assume you saw it around 2009 or 2010? When
a little later than that.
Release? It
was, like, the early 2010s. Actually, maybe it was because I was married at the time, and I wasn't married for very long, if you know what I mean. So, so my husband made me watch it in maybe 2013, 2014. And which is crazy that he had seen it and I hadn't, because I knew all about cult movies and art movies and he didn't. So it's sort of just a weird thing, a fluke, but I loved it. It's, an absolutely insane movie. I have watched it many times since then. It's one of those movies that people will say, like, it's so bad it's good, which is really frustrating because it's not bad at all. It's very
wrong.
Expertly made and very in control of the thing that it's doing. The thing that it's doing is absolutely bonkers, apeshit insane, but it's good at doing it. And it was the director's intention to do that. So, yeah, I mean, the history of this movie is pretty interesting. What is the name of this movie studio? Toho. So the producers at Toho wanted this director to make something like Jaws, which is like so insane to think that it turned into this somehow. This director was hired to write it. I think he started talking to his preteen daughter, who, you know, had some ideas about the movie, like a house that eats girls and, you know, a watermelon.
Being eaten by your mirror or by a piano.
Yeah, exactly. So those were incorporated, like literally a child's ideas of a haunted house. No one at Toho wanted to direct it for a couple of years because they were all convinced it would ruin their careers, which is probably true based on how this movie was received in Japan at the time. So he ended up directing it himself. And it was a box office success, but a critical failure. And in particular, children loved it, which makes a lot of sense. And it kind of seems to have languished for a couple of decades until Janice did the re-release.
Yeah, I don't know what it was that got Criterion to finally, like, dust this one off the shelf and put it out, but they did it proper because this movie went from being a thing whispered about that a few people knew about to, like, if you know anything about cult movies or weird horror movies, the first thing out of your mouth is, have you seen House?
Yeah.
Like, it played everywhere.
It's so beautiful, too. I mean, the restoration is gorgeous. This is a very aesthetic movie. It's kind of more interested in aesthetics than most things. There's a lot of animation. There's a lot of, like, artistic film scratching. There's really chaotic music. There are matte painted sets at moments. I mean, it's kind of just doing everything. It makes 1,000 choices.
There's, like, early, like, video art stuff that, like, you would later see popping up in, like, the 80s movies of Ken Russell and shit like that. They literally, because Obayashi had spent so many years directing, like, commercials and working in marketing and doing crazy, weird advertisements in Japan, he had learned so many little stylistic tricks of the trade, and this was his first movie, and he was like, fuck it. Yeah. We'll use them all. So many of the special effects in this movie Toho had never done before. And Toho, like, is the biggest film studio in Japan, or at least they were in 1977. Like, they made the Godzilla movies. Wow. They made all the Akira Kurosawa movies. Yeah. Like, Toho is like the Warner Brothers of Japan. And this guy was coming in trying to do all the stuff they did back in the 40s and stuff they'd never done before. It's truly a punk rock horror movie in its creation. And
it's important to say
Obayashi is such a little cute weirdo.
Yeah, he's so funny and strange. He's like a hobbit or something. This is a horror comedy. It's intentionally funny. Plot-wise, such as it is, we are following 7 teenage girls who are like the 7 dwarfs because their names are Gorgeous, who is pretty and fashionable, Mac, which is somehow short for stomach in Japanese, who's quote-unquote fat, even though she's the same size as the other girls, and never stops eating. We have Prof, P-R-O-F, for short for professor, who wears glasses and is smart. We have Fantasy, who's always, like, daydreaming. We have Kung Fu, who's strong and does Kung Fu. We have Melody, who plays a series of musical instruments and loves music. And I think that might be it.
And Sweet,
who is nice.
Yep.
And they,
that's it.
Yeah, they are going on a trip to a training camp. I don't know what a training camp is, but that trip falls apart because the teacher who's supposed to take them there has to go to the hospital after he falls down the stairs and gets his butt stuck in a bucket, which is the most cartoonish injury that one can sustain. So instead, they end up going to Gorgeous's aunt's house in the countryside, and Gorgeous hasn't been there since she was a little girl. So she writes a letter to this auntie who says, please come and bring all your friends. They get there, and the auntie is not what she seems, and the girls start to disappear one by one. And we realize that through a series of backstory, sort of exposition things, we learn that the auntie is an evil spirit who, because of what happened in the past, is now sort of the embodiment of this house which eats girls to stay young. Or something. I don't know, like something like that. That makes it sound normal, but that's like not. I only understand that much of the plot because I've watched this like 6 times or something. Like it actually doesn't play in a normal plot, linear, normal movie kind of way at all.
There's also a B plot about a witch cat that may or may not be connected to the house, and a C plot about how Gorgeous's father is going to remarry after her mother died 8 years ago.
There's a D plot where the teacher is trying to get to the house. The teacher's driving from Tokyo, a little bit later after he gets out of the hospital for his butt bucket, I guess.
It's a very Scatman Crothers in The Shining D plot.
It is exactly that. Exactly that. This movie
He'll come and save the day.
Yeah, spoiler, he doesn't because he turns into a pile of bananas instead. This movie really stresses me out. I know that it's a comedy.
Yeah,
it's not scary
last
in a
night
traditional way.
Went to go put this movie on, and I got a text from Josh that just said, "How's this stressful?"
It's so chaotic. I guess it's my Order Muppet brain, but like the chaos of this movie really gets under my skin. It makes me feel like I'm sick, like I'm having a fever dream. Like some people will describe movies as fever dreams. This one actually is like a fever dream. It's like you ate some bad chicken salad and went to bed and are having like a fever dream. It's so fucked up.
I think it's fun. I
do too,
honestly,
but thanks.
Every time I watch this movie again and they go through like Gorgeous's melodrama, like really amped up melodrama with her family and like all the stuff with Mr. Togo and all the stuff, I'm like, I forgot about all of this. And then when they get to the house and he goes nuts, I'm like, yep, this is it. This is the movie. This is what I remember. This is what I'm here for. A piano that eats people's fingers? Awesome. A head coming out of a well and biting someone on the ass? Yes, that's what I'm here for.
I like that this movie uses archetypes, and frankly, I wish that more movies would do it. I know it's probably considered, like, unsophisticated by screenwriting books, but I like that the girl's name is Gorgeous, and she's pretty. I like that the girl's name is Professor, and she's smart. Like, I think it's fun, especially if you have 7 teenage girls. Like, slasher movies do a much worse job of differentiating their characters. Like, at least I know who these girls are.
It's easy to tell them apart.
Yeah. Which girl do you like the most? Like, which girl do you want to be or feel like you are?
Oh, yeah. Not what astrology sign are you? What girl from House are you?
Exactly.
I like Kung Fu a lot. She's very self-determined and she's very, like...
Me too.
Nonchalant about all of this. She's like wood piles will get up and attack her out of nowhere, and she'll fight them off and then be like, whew, that was weird, and then go back to like hanging out with the girls and not mention it.
Yeah.
She also wears like almost like army fatigue kind of stuff around with them.
She's probably my favorite
think she's
too.
Super dope. I kept saying last night while we were watching this that I want her and Prof to like be together. Her and Pro for Endgame. They're, like, so in love. I'm sorry. You can't convince me they're not.
I get that. I think that's right.
What about you? Who are you?
I love Mac? Kung Fu. I feel like I might be Mac. Also because I'm not fat.
Mac. She's great.
But I have, like, extreme body dysmorphia and control my eating really severely. Mac is great. She's the same size as all the rest of the girls. They're constantly talking about how fat she is because she wants to eat watermelon, which I will point out has, like, no calories whatsoever. She's the first to die. So yeah,
or are you Blanche all along?
I feel like I'm the kooky skeleton.
Wait, okay. So this movie has like, a maybe ghost aunt, a maybe witch cat, a kooky skeleton that dances around because Gorgeous' grandparents who initially owned the house, the grandfather was a doctor, so he had like a medical skeleton.
Yeah.
But also, this does not get mentioned enough about this movie because it only pops up in the background of a few scenes. There's a mummy?
Yes. Yeah. This movie has it all. I mean, it's
There's
like
a mummy in house. I don't know what it's doing there. It just shows up a few times.
This is like that Gremlins 2 sketch from Key and Peele, where it's like, that's in the movie. That's in the movie. I feel like this director went to his 10-year-old daughter, and she was like, I have nightmares about beds attacking me. And he's like, that's in the movie. And like anything she said, it's in the movie. Which is great.
Honestly, it's great. It also makes me think about, so there's a poster for the Andy Warhol Blood for Dracula, which we've covered on the show. I'm obsessed with this poster. I have it in my house. It's behind my couch. It's basically like a knockoff of the Young Frankenstein poster, because they didn't know how to market Blood for Dracula. And so it's like the exact same like big mountain and like crazy like stormy lightning, and then it's like Udo Kier's Dracula popping out of a coffin, and then all this crazy shit happening around him of like girls drinking each other's blood in a coffin, and there's like a giraffe over
things that
in the
are
corner,
never in the movie,
and like grave diggers and a guy in like a suit of armor holding a mace, and there's like a mummy smoking a pipe and all this shit. Honestly, that poster is more representative of House than it is Blood for Dracula.
Absolutely.
More of that shit is actually in House.
There's more. I mean, there's more in this movie that we could just list off the top of our head. One choice I thought was actually really beautiful and weirdly moving, and I would love to rip off someday, is the exposition story of the auntie. So when Gorgeous is telling her friends the auntie's backstory, which is really sad. So the auntie fell in love with the man, and they were going to get married, but he had to go to World War II, and she was waiting for him, and he never came back. So she waited forever until she died, and that's sort of her backstory. But it's told through black and white footage, sort of done in like silent film style, except the 7 girls are watching it and commenting on it, sort of like Mystery Science Theater 3000 way. But they're not making fun of it. They're just like, oh, look how handsome he was, or whatever. And I just thought that was such a beautiful choice for a movie, and it's sort of obvious in a way, and I kind of was like, I don't know why this isn't like a normal choice, because we're watching a movie, it's obviously film, like why not just embrace that?
It's so good, and those sequences look like silent, like 20s and 30s era film. They look super fucking gorgeous. And then you'll have Mac being like, oh my god, that looks so good, that looks so tasty, and the girls start making fun of Mac for like being fat,
wanting to eat watermelon like a fatso.
Meanwhile, there's this like heart-rending melodrama happening in front of us. But then that sequence ends with the bombing of Hiroshima.
Yeah, and someone's
which
like,
is then
like
commented
cloud.
on.
Or
someone says, "Oh, it looks like cotton candy."
That's right.
And that's the only thing anyone says about it. And then it's back to our jaunty little journey on the bus, and you're like, "That's how this movie discusses Hiroshima." Okay.
I'm so glad you said that, because it has to be mentioned that this director is from Hiroshima and has said that as a child, all of their friends were killed in that bombing. And so that is definitely a part of this movie as well.
Yeah. This movie really reckons with the idea of like coming to terms with like horror from the perspective of a child. Like, just because this movie is like jaunty and cute and like from the POV of like schoolgirls, and it treats them like everything's gonna be fine because they're happy little schoolgirls, and like we have all these fun, colorful effects, they still all die.
Yeah, and the director has said, like, the reason that he went to his daughter was he was like, I think children have ideas that can't be explained. If it were just adults coming up with this, it would all exist on that sort of like linear, explainable human level, which can be quite dull. But if you get it directly from children, it's going to be weirder and more unexplainable, and that's what he was kind of going for, which makes sense.
Yeah. It makes sense, and it works, because there is a sort of, like, adult filmic logic to a lot of this movie, but that's almost being parodied throughout the film. It's the, like, childish horror that's the most effective and interesting and fascinating, and the fact that he makes it with this exuberant, energetic, and bizarre style just makes it work all the more.
And the acting and writing style, too, is very, like, children's theater or, you know, Sesame Street-ish. Like, the girls have names that describe them. The way that they're blocked inside of scenes is to be, like, very children's TV show, very Sesame Street PBS. So it's all working on that kids level, but then is also working on this adult level because, like, as you mentioned, all the girls die. And even though the furniture is all alive, like Pee-wee's Playhouse, it is, like, eating the girls. Like, one of the girls is eaten by the piano, you know, so on and so forth. So it's a very weird movie. In that
one of my favorite sight gags in this movie that is so goddamn funny, late on into the movie, the house floods with blood.
Yeah.
Because of course it does.
Yeah.
And the floorboards separate out into kind of like rafts. And one of the girls falls off into the water. And you see her go down. And then you see, like, a can bob back up with her glasses. And so it looks like she's, like, has her mouth open in shock. And then you're like, nope, that's just a can with her glasses on it. That's so goddamn silly and so goddamn funny.
Yeah.
Also, I love how you were like, I don't like horror spoofs. I don't like spoof movies. And then the rest of this episode is us talking about how amazing House is. Because House is...
I don't think it's a
both,
spoof.
It's having its cake and eating it, too.
Yeah.
It's not exactly... But it's, like, not a spoof.
It's a comedy.
It is
I like
comedy.
horror
It is
comedies.
making fun of horror... It's making fun of horror movies while also, like, genuinely also being a horror movie. Honestly, this reminds me more of Willy Wonka than it does of, like... Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, I think Willy Wonka's a great comp
Willy
for
Wonka,
this.
and which all the kids also died.
Yeah.
You telling me Augustus Gloop went up that, like, pipe and didn't suffocate to death? Sure.
Yeah, sounds fake. Yeah, I love the stuff that... I presume that this is from, like, Japanese folklore or something, like the story about the sad old auntie who... eats the girls to become... She gets younger and younger and younger. I loved all of that. I loved the witch cat. It felt like it's from Japanese folklore, although I don't know if that's true. And there's an element to Japanese movies for me, whether it's Spirited Away or some other Miyazaki movie or this, where I'm like, I wonder if these things are normal to Japanese people, in a sense. Like, is that story of the auntie like their version of Snow White or something that we know on a bone level? You know what I mean? Like, how iconic
is it like
are
a
these
cultural
stories? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder if those are like lost in translation.
There's a lot of great Japanese folk horror movies that deal with very simple, basic ghost stories. Japanese ghost stories are very, 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 very prominent. There's one called Ugetsu that is absolutely gorgeous and tender, and it's a very similar thing. And Yukio Mishima adapted the great queer author adapted a lot of classic Japanese folk stories like that into no plays in like the 1960s or something that I read a lot when I was in college. And like every single one of those always deals with like people interacting with each other. A man falls in love with a woman and like sleeps with her and spends like the weekend with her only to wake up and realize he's in an abandoned house and she's been dead for 40 years.
Right.
Like it's always stuff like that. And it's always like a manifestation of guilt. That he cheated on his wife and that he'd ever have like the intention of cheating on his wife. Things like that. They very, very frequently deal with you meet a person who is flesh and blood and it's daylight, and then time will pass and you will realize that this person has been dead and is a ghost and is messing with you. But then you survive and you come out of it a stronger person and more like devoted to like being a part of your life and stuff like that. Not a single one that I've encountered ends with, and then they all died. Right.
Maybe that's where the Jaws comes in this movie, the American influence.
I mean, I've heard this movie compared to, like, Mario Bava, I've heard it compared to Scooby-Doo. It's all of those things, but it's also very much its own thing.
Yeah, there's nothing
You
really...
couldn't intentionally set out to make a movie like House.
No, it's very handmade. There's nothing else like it. I was thinking, and maybe it's just because it was made in 1977, I was like, it's nothing like this movie, but it would make a great double feature with Suspiria, because they both have such good music and both such good visual language that in some weird way to me kind of speak to each other, but I probably couldn't do better than that. Except for maybe Fantastic Planet is something that's similar, where it just has such a unique, singular visual and musical language like House does. Otherwise, I don't know.
I would pair it with Mad Monster Party myself.
Ooh, I love that. That's a fun idea.
The stop motion Rankin Bass movie.
Yeah.
Because they're just like fun party horror movies. Like, I've seen House so many times, but usually, like this, I think this was the only time since the first time I watched House, that I sat down to watch House to like analyze it and think about it like as a film and as art. And I do think this is an art film. I do think this movie is art.
Absolutely.
But honestly, like, I mostly put on House around Halloween when I'm having friends over.
I mean, it's that kind of movie. We've talked about that kind of movie before. It's the kind of movie that you put on in the background at a party when you go to like art school or whatever. You know, like it has that vibe because it's beautiful to look at above all. I mean, that's the main thing about it, is that it looks rad.
And it operates on such a strong visual logic that you don't have to speak Japanese. You don't have to be like paying attention or reading the subtitles to follow along. Not that there's much to follow along to.
Yeah.
You can like just have it on and watch it and pay attention. Not to just like, the performances and the music are incredible. I'm not telling you to turn the audio off, but like, you can follow along this movie visually and be just fine.
Yeah. The music is great.
It's better if you're able to translate it, but
yeah,
the music is incredible.
The music gets stuck in my head every time I watch this. I've been walking around for 24 hours like do 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 do, that same melody that plays
speaking
the
of
whole movie.
That song, the melody that Melody plays on the piano, the bum 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 bum,
yeah,
bum bum bum. Am I just a millennial? Am I just so deeply pilled by this? Or does that sound exactly like the opening bars of Welcome to the Black Parade by My Chemical Romance? I'm not kidding.
Song.
Every single time I watch this movie, I'm like, did Gerard Way see this movie? Because he's a little fucking weirdo. He's a little fucking like horror freak. So did he like torrent this movie in the early 2000s? Or get a bootleg copy of it? Or did he like pick up a copy of it in Japan on some tour or some visit there, and then go, that riff's great, and then like use it intentionally or unintentionally for that song? Because that song came out in like 2007 or something, so it came out before House like had its true American debut. But every single time I watch this movie, I'm like, it's too close. It's too close. There's no way that's unintentional.
That would not surprise me at all. Shall we play Have They Seen It? The game where we speculate wildly whether notable figures have seen this movie. You've just given us a segue to do so.
I mean, I'm convinced Gerard Way has seen House at minimum.
Yeah. But so this person came to mind, I guess, because of the 2000s. Do you think that Karen O of the Yeah Yeah Yeahs has seen House?
I think Karen O has seen House. I don't know if she's seen it all the way through, but she's definitely seen it being projected on the wall at a party, at minimum.
Karen O.
She may have gone to see it like at like art at like Film Forum or something like that.
Yeah, totally. Karen O is half Asian, but I'm not sure if she's half Japanese or not. She might be Korean. Not that it matters because she's American. But
yeah, exactly.
But I mean, if her mom was Japanese, maybe that's why I got there.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of music and speaking of things that blend the lines between like adult and children's entertainment, and like things that blend between, like, horror and kid stuff. Do you think that Christian Jacobs, the front man of the Aquabats and the co-creator of Yo Gabba Gabba, has seen House? First and foremost, I am a giant Aquabats fan. They kick ass. The Aquabats Super Show, underrated.
Yeah. Aquabats are great. Yo Gabba Gabba is great for that matter. Yeah, I want to say yes, based on mostly Yo Gabba Gabba. I think for sure. What about you?
Oh, I think he's definitely seen it. So much of the Aquabats is like them being obsessed with like old kaiju movies and like not Transformers, and like Power Rangers and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like when House made its like resurgence in 2009, 2010, they probably saw it like on a loop, and I'm sure like he's already shown it to his kids.
I'm sure. I think it's a great movie for kids, actually. I mean, it's not surprising to me that kids
I wish I
loved
could have
it.
seen this as a kid.
Me too. I would have loved it, I'm sure. So this is another music figure from the 2000s, and this is a person who, some might argue, problematic ways co-opted Japanese culture. Do you think that
Avril
Harajuku Girl... No, that's not where I was going, but let's do Avril Lavigne. Do you think that Avril Lavigne is in House? Quickly.
Avril Lavigne, yes. I will say yes. Avril Lavigne has probably seen House.
Okay. I was going to... Do you think that Harajuku Girl, Gwen Stefani, has seen House?
Gwen Stefani has not seen House.
No. I love the conspiracy... What's the conspiracy theory about Avril Lavigne? Like, that she's dead and replaced?
That she's dead.
I love it so much.
That they replaced her with either a clone, a robot, or a lookalike.
Yeah. Do you know what I've been listening to a lot lately again? I'm having a renaissance with Lil Mama, the rapper, because I love the song Lip Gloss, but also as part of that, the Lil Mama Avril Lavigne, what's it called? Collaboration called I Don't Like Your Boyfriend from the 2000s.
Really?
It's great.
I
Lil
didn't know
Mama,
about
Avril
that.
Lavigne. Mm-hmm. It's a good one.
God bless.
I know. Wait, I just...
Well, as long as we're doing music figures... Oh, yeah. As long as we're doing music figures, I'll go a little bit older because I always think about these two little fucking weirdos who have been making music together since like the 60s and 70s. And I love them so much. Do you think the Sparks brothers, Ron and Russell Mael of the band Sparks, have seen House?
Yes, but I don't think they saw it until after 2009 when the rest of America saw it. But I think that they would love this movie, and I know that they go to the movies a lot.
Oh, they're big cinephiles.
Yes.
I, though, think they're also, like, Sparks has been big in Japan for a long time.
That's true. I mean, they have... and what's the album, the early album with the kimono?
Kimono My House?
Yeah.
I love that album.
It's great.
And, like, Russell Mael, like, collects, like, pachinko machines and, like, has, like, Hello Kitty obsession.
They may have seen it earlier than I gave them credit for.
I feel like there's a possibility that they were in Japan in 1977, 1978 on a tour, and we're like, let's go to the movies. All these kids keep talking about something called Houseu. Let's go see what Houseu is.
Yeah.
And they probably, like, weren't able to follow it, and because they, you know, saw it in Japan, probably, and were like, what in fuck? And I would not be surprised if you had, like, went to go get coffee with Ron and Russell Mael circa 1987 or 1999 or something, and you started talking to them about movies. One of them would be like, I think there was this weird Japanese movie one time where a piano ate a girl.
I feel like unlike everyone else...
And you'd be like, that's not real.
I feel like everyone else in 1970, unlike everyone else in 1977, the Mael brothers would have loved this, like, on first watch in 1977. It's very them.
Yeah.
Also, something you said made me realize I forgot to mention a fact about this movie, which is I'd always assumed that this movie was called Houseu, and then the American title is House. But that's not true. He actually named the movie House in English because he thought an English name would be controversial and get attention. And he was right. People were really mad about the fact that it had an English title. So it's worth mentioning. Provocateur,
I love him.
this man.
I love him so much. I want to see more of his movies. He only passed away very recently. And he kept making movies up until his death.
Yeah, I'd love to see more.
I want to see more of them. They're not easy to access in the States, which is, I mean, when this made its revival now over 10 years ago, insane to think, I expected like the floodgates to open on his career and a lot more of his films from that time and after to start getting releases from like other labels.
Yeah.
Arrow Video hasn't done an Obayashi box set. What the fuck is all I'm saying.
Listen, since we're talking about spotlighting directors, let's talk about next week because we're going to do a double feature. So let's talk about that. They are 2 movies that you can watch on Shudder. And they are what? And by who, Drusilla?
So Josh has become very enamored with the films of one of Spain's great provocateurs, Eloy de la Iglesia, who is an incredible director who made the Kinky films and the El Pico films, of which Josh adores, and who made
Spanish Juvenile
Pals.
Yeah.
And so we've been talking about his films a little bit. He's a great queer filmmaker from Spain who's only recently starting to get a reappraisal as his films become available in the US thanks to companies like Altered Innocence and Vinegar Syndrome and Severin. He also made horror films. So next week we will be doing a double feature of 2 said films that are being highlighted over on Shudder right now, and were both released by Severin Films. We will be watching No One Heard the Scream and Cannibal Man.
Yes, and special shout out to Sheree Bohannon at Nightmare on First Street who brought this to my attention. You're my inspiration, and we love you. That's it for this episode of Bloodhouse. You should rate us wherever you listen to podcasts. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram. Drusilla, where are you?
On my website is over at sisterhidedesign.com. I've got new art up there. I did a Blu-ray for the Wim Wenders movie Wings of Desire in France. That's new. That's up. I did art for a Peter Falk movie. Can you fucking believe it?
Jeez.
I've got another new cover dropping next week, very, 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 very soon, so keep your eyes out for that. And you can also find me on Letterboxd if you search for Drusilla Adeline or Sister Hyde. And I'm on Instagram at HydeSister. What about you, Josh? Where do you lurk in the piano keys of the internet?
At the moment, I am on Instagram or Letterboxd at Joshua Conkle, and that's it. Can't wait to see you for the double feature. Can't wait to see you for the double feature next week. Those movies are on Shudder, and I'm really excited to talk about it. Bye-bye.
Bye.